Hey everybody, this is Frilioth and welcome to another Minecraft episode on the Alphacraft server. We're back in the stronghold again today, just to start with today, because we've got a couple of new patrons for me to introduce to you, and I've got to stick them in the Patron Powers Hall of Heroes. So I'm going to whiz down here. Now, though, I've got to apologise to some of you guys. I'm sure in the past, most of you have told me what heads you want on, or what colour hats. Well, it would be heads if there's nothing on there. And I'm sure you've told me, but I don't remember where I've written it down or anything. And there's a couple of you, Bumbles, I'm looking at you. You need to tell me what colour armour you want for your mannequins, for your armour stands. Because I've forgotten. I'm sorry, I've forgotten. So please let me know so I can sort this out. And I know Norb wants a villager's head, but I still haven't got one. Sorry, Norb. I'm working on it. Right, so let me whiz round. First of all, I want to introduce you to KaleyObsidia, who joined us on the 17th of the 3rd. And Kaley wants some iron armour. We're going to stick on some fancy iron armour. She also wants a drowned head, which is nice and easy because we've got thousands and thousands of drowned heads. And I'll stick a sign on there now. Might as well do it now while I'm thinking about it. Brilliant. And then we've got Sig. Sig joined us on the 20th. Now Sig wanted a white robe and a dragon's head, but I'm afraid I can't put a white robe on an armour stand. It's got to be armour. So the best I can do, Sig, I'm afraid, is give you white armour. Hopefully that's okay. And you want a dragon's head, which is no problem, but I don't have one. I'm going to have to go and get one. So I've written that down. Hopefully I won't forget. Ollie, what head would you like? CreativeNorb we know about. Bumbles, I need your armour. Lily May, I need a head. Von Tom, I've been asking you forever. VT, give me a head. So there you go. Welcome to KaleyObsidia. Welcome to Sig. Thank you very, very much for becoming patrons. I really, really, really do appreciate it. That looks like you're almost invisible in there, doesn't it? Just looks like a mob head. Iron armour that looks like stone. Fantastic. So now we're off to the Guardian farm again to do a little bit more work over there. So I thought today then we'd start by doing a bit more work down here at the Guardian farm. What I'm going to do is I'm going to extend out the walls. Oh, hello, fishy. I'm going to extend the walls out by 20 or so blocks. Now, there are several ways that we can do this. There are flying machines, and I thought about making a flying machine. And there are pros and cons to doing that. The first pro being we can set it off and running and it'll go backwards and forwards. We won't have to do any more work, but the con to that is it will only go down as far as the highest block in the water. So it would only come down to, well, my beacon or here, and then it would stop. So all of that in there would still be full of water, and I'd still have to go in there and empty it out. And that doesn't include the time it would take me to build it in the first place. And I'd have to, because you can't make flying machines go around corners, I'd have to build it and do this side. Then I'd have to take it all down and build it again and do that side. So I'm not going to be using a flying machine. The other option then is to use sand, which is the option I'm going to be using. Now, we could either fill all of this with sand and then dig it out, which would leave it dry, or we can put down squares of sand, which is the way I've always done it in the past. So we'll put down a line of sand going that way, and then we'll leave a gap of 4, because I've found that draining a square of sand that's 4x4, a square of water that's 4x4 is easier with one sponge than draining just a 5x5. A 5x5 is a little bit more difficult, and if you don't get the timing right, it fills itself back up again. So we're going to be doing 4x4. So I could either do that by hand, or I could make a little machine to do it for me. So I can do a bit of AFK, and I'm a big AFK fan, as you can probably tell. So what I'm going to do then is put down my my redstone box. I'm going to grab myself some pistons. I need a piston. I need a sticky piston. I need slime block. I'll need an observer. I'll need a couple of bits of redstone, and I'll need a couple of repeats. I'm going to need more than a couple of bits of redstone, and I'll need a dropper. I've got some droppers. Fabulous. So what I'm going to do is, if I pop that block out there and stick a normal piston there, I'm going to now create a little mechanism that's going to allow me to stand here and put sand just here, and that will automatically feed out 10 or so blocks into the sea, so I can stand here AFK. And I'm a big fan of AFK. So let me just put a little platform here for me to stand on. So I'm going to need like that. Yep, do. And then I need, actually I don't need that there at all, do I? I need an observer just there. Observer like that, and then a blob of red stony dust just there, and then we'll have a repeater on 3 ticks. Now we want this can be done, I think it can be done on 1 tick, but we're going to do it on 3 because maybe I'll do it on 1 in a minute. So now every time I'm going to fill this one up by hand manually to start with, and then every time I put a bit of sand in front of that observer, let's fill this up by hand. See, it pushes it out and it'll push it down over there. Now what I've got to make sure is I don't have any kelp in the way, because if there's any kelp in the way, it's just going to break the sand. So I've just got to quickly go down here and beat up all the kelp. Let the dolphins play with it. Don't know how far out I'm coming at the moment, so we'll come out quite a way. Like that. Now any sand that gets pushed out isn't going to get... Hello mate, hello Flips. Whoa, don't do that. Much as I love you and everything, don't do that again. Scare me to death. Right, so now I should be able to just stand here. And then every time it's filled up, it's going to push it out one more. And then it'll do the next line. Now, I'm going to quickly run out of sand if I do that. So what I'm going to do then is stick down my dropper. If I stick down a dropper just there, and fill this with sand. So now every time I put a bit of sand down there, it fires out another bit of sand to me. So now I can stand here at AFK and not placing some sand actually. If I... Oh no, that'll be okay. Okay, that didn't take too long. So now what I need to do is put the mechanism on here to extend this out to 20 blocks. So I need my sticky piston. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sticky piston on there like that, and then blob of ye olde slime, and a block like that, and then I want an observer block. I picked one up, didn't I? Didn't I pick an observer up? Oh, I did, but I used it. Observer just here. Blob of dust on that. repeater there on 2 ticks. Now what that's going to do is every time a bit of sand goes underneath that observer, it's going to fire a pulse into that. These dolphins are doing my head in. Going to fire a pulse into that redstone, which is going to activate the repeater, which is going to activate the sticky piston and the slime block, and the slime is going to push that bit of sand over that way, and then the new bit, the new piece of sand will get pushed along, pushing out a piece of sand that's already there, and it'll push that one out, and it'll eventually fill up the rest of this wall out to 20 blocks, or that is the theory. I wonder if we'll be able to see it happening. Actually, I need to break that one to start with. See, pushed it off the edge. Fabulous. So now, hopefully, yeah. You see, it's pushing it off the edge. So now I can stand here and carry on putting sand down. That will do nicely. So what I need to do now then is move this entire contraption 5 blocks or so down this way. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got a 4-block gap in the middle of it, and then I want to stick this little contraption here over here. Can't remember the last time I slept either. So find out, won't we? And then I'll just move all of this down to here, and then I can do the same thing again. Brilliant. So I've got all of the lines in now, all of the cross lines anyway. With a gap of 4 running all the way down to the end, down to here. So now what I need to do is put in the cross ones, cross whatever you call them, these ones, to make all the squares into a 4x4 square, and then I can start draining them with my sponges. So what we need to do now then is just sort of spin the entire mechanism around 90 degrees. Some blocks. Where are my blocks? Blocks, blocks, blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I want to start it there. And then we want the observer going on to there, don't we? We do. I know we do. Don't know why I'm asking. Frills, why are you asking? Out there like that. One of them. One of them on a few ticks. There to there to there. And then stick my dropper just there again. What I'm going to do actually is stick, if I put that there, I'm then going to stick my chest of my what do you call it, this thing, onto here, and that'll feed all of my stuff in. And I can just stand here, right? And also what I need to do now then is put down those extenders running all the way down the end, and then I won't have to mess about doing that in a second. So if I do that on every other 2, 3, 4, so if I do that here, yeah, observer, sticky, Whoa. Slime. Then a bit of dust. A repeater on one tick. And if I do that, every other one all the way down, I can just stand there then for an hour and fill all of this in. I don't want to do the bottom one. There's no point in putting one here because I don't want it building off out into the distance and then and me having to dig it all out again. It's going to be easier for me to throw down the last ones by hand. So that should be done. Let's go and grab the shulker box. That was a thing. I couldn't think of the name of it earlier. Could have that thing. Grab my shulker box. Stick that on top of here. And then put a bit of a roof over my head just in case. Because I do plan to be here for quite a while. And then I can throw down my first line of sand. I've been down and double checked to make sure there's no kelp. So away we go. Brilliant. Now that didn't take too long at all. Actually, I don't know how long it took, if I'm being completely honest, because I went to AFK and watched a bit of Star Trek, believe it or not. So this has been running now for an hour or so, and I came down to the end and I just filled in the end by hand. But this all filled in and it was very, very painless. So I'm going to pick all of this up. How easy was that? That was really easy. It's probably quicker doing it by hand. When myself and Smurf we've drained a few of these temples before around the outside of it, and putting sand down by hand is quicker. I must admit it's quicker. However, it does mean you doing it by hand. You have to put the stuff down and you have to be at your computer. Whereas this method means that you don't have to be near your computer. So you can do what I did and go off and watch a bit of Star Trek. Anyway, I'm sure you couldn't care less about that. Right now, what I've got to do is start draining them. And there's really no easy way of doing this. I'm just going to have to jump in and start spamming down sponges. But as I say, hello Flips, how you doing, mate? But as I said, with a 4x4, I should be able to put one in sort of the corner, and that way, and I'll be able to drain off a level. If it was 5x5 and I put one in the corner, it would start filling up again from the other corner. So I'd have to place one down, then turn around really quickly. And every so often, you place them in the wrong place. So I'm hoping. Oh no! Oh, 4x4 does the same. Oh, I completely cocked it up. Okay, I'm gonna have to do it like this then. Bit of fancy sponge work. I wonder if can you do it? You do it in the middle? No. Same thing. All of that, bigging myself up about do it this way because I know what I'm doing, and it turns out I don't know what I'm doing. Which is me all over. Hey-ho. So the problem with doing the first one is I now have to make my way up. And have I not bought? I've not bought any blocks with me. No biggie. Break that one out. It'll all flow down. And I'll swim up. But the next one that I do, I'm just going to be able to dig through the walls then. I'm sure you've drained. I can't believe I've come down here with no blocks. But I'm sure you've drained water before with sponges and everything. I'm really disappointed with myself, actually. I really thought that is a 4x4, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. It is 4x4. How did I not calculate that correctly? Oh, right. So anyway, I'm gonna do this then. I'm gonna do a bit of draining and knocking all of this sand out as well. I'll knock all the sand out and then completely empty this, and then unfortunately I'll have to do it around the other 3 sides. So if you're wondering what that is, that's where Frilioth was standing up there. We don't have our camera accounts on the Alphacraft server. I've got one, Biz has got one, Jaques has got one. We don't use spectator mode. It's a hard server. It's survival only. When we need a camera account, they have to be in survival. So we're not like those hermits who just pop into spectator and fly around everywhere. We do it the hardcore way. So our camera accounts have to stand in precarious places, proper Bear Grylls-y style. Right, I'm going to do all of this and see you back in a minute. This is taking ages. This has really come back to bite me. Here's me saying doing the draining by squares and then using sponges is quicker than flying machines and the rest of it. It's not. I was lying. Don't believe anything I say. It's all false. It's taken me hours, and I've only done one line of it. I'm going to do. I forget how quick Smurf is when he's draining these things. With 2 of us doing it, you see, one can be draining, the other one can be drying out sponges and whatever, and it's well, obviously it's twice as quick. This is taking forever. So I think what I'm going to do for the next corner, I won't do a flying machine on it just yet. I'm going to resist on doing that. But what I am going to do is I'm going to have a line of pistons. There'll be normal pistons running all the way down there, and they'll just push sand over the edge. And I'm going to fill the entire area with sand. Instead of filling in squares and then water and having to drain it with sponges, I'm just going to fill the lot in. All of this over there is going to be filled in with sand. Then I'm going to jump down with my decent shovel and just mine it all out, and I'll see whether that's quicker. The filling it is going to take more time because it's going to, obviously I need, I don't know, 5 times more sand. Is it? My maths has never been brilliant, but it's going to take a lot more sand, which means a lot more AFK. But at least I'll be AFK. I won't be. I can do that overnight, and then the following morning, grab my shovel, dig it. Anyway, I'm way ahead of myself here. Hello, dolphins. You should be able to breed dolphins, shouldn't you? You should be able to tame them with fish. Have I got any fish? You should be able to stick fish in your offhand and get them to jump out the water and take it out your hand. Wouldn't that be pretty cool? Dolphin! Dolphin! And they should eat fish. They should kill fish. You should be able to put them in a fish farm. Mojang. Dolphins eat fish. Right, I'm going to have to carry on doing this. So I'll carry on doing this back sometime before the end of next year. Right, what seems like several days later, I'm done. I'm done on this side anyway, so we've just got to whip all of this down now. Sure, there's a quicker way of doing it using torches, but I can't be bothered. I'm going to do it this way. Hopefully I won't break through the wall on the other side. And flood everything. So that's brilliant. That's this side done. I'm not going to do anything with the floor yet. Might as well do all of them before I've done that. So I think we've just got time to set up the mechanism for doing the next side. Which side shall I do? I'll do this side as soon as I'm down here. Doesn't really matter which one I do next. So I'll grab some redstone-y stuff and set it all up. Right, that's all done, and I'm back up here. Right, I'm going to rattle through this quite quickly. So what I need to do now is stick down a load of normal pistons all the way along this wall facing this way. So now we need a way to power all of these bad boys, don't we? So I need to run a line of stone down the back of all of these guys. Brilliant. Now some redstone. Oh, I've left it all down the end. Right, I'm going to cover this with redstone, but then I'm going to have to stick some repeaters in. And because repeaters on the top here won't power the piston there, we'll have to put it one below. But before we start doing that, we need to find out how far the signal will come down. We'll grab some of those, grab some of those, grab all of that. They repeaters, they're not comparators, are they? So we need redstone dust on all of these. Hello, mate. And then if we stick a redstone torch on here, we'll know how far the signal's going to go down. So that'll power all of the pistons down to here. So now we need to pop that block out, place it down the bottom and stick in a repeater. And then stick a block back on the top of it. Break that, activate it again, and now all of the pistons will fire all the way down. Then we go down to the next one that stopped working, that one there. Put it out. On the bottom. Like that. Break the redstone. Put it back all the way down to here. Fabulous. Looks like we've got one more to do. Perfect. All the way down to the end. So now we need a... Really should take my box up there, shouldn't I? We'll have one of them. We'll have a dropper. We'll have some of those. Gonna need anything else? Probably. No doubt I will. Worry about that when I get down there though. Actually, what I'm going to do while I'm here is throw a few torches on here. Stop things spawning on them. Although they will be able to spawn on there. When I go AFK, I'm going to have to lock myself in a little hole. Right, so what I need now is a... where do I want it? Put it down the bottom, don't I? I need an observer that's going to detect when all of the sand that I'm going to be pushing down here reaches this end. I think I'm going to need it on here. I have that like that. Oh! I have that like that. I then need a... I knew I'd forget something. I need a stick. Tell you what, there's a sticky piston going in there with a block on the top of it, like a monostable circuit. And then when the sand gets down to the end, it's going to fire that. It's going to put a pulse through here, and it's going to fire all of these pistons out, which will push all the sand out, and then all the sand that's on the top will fall down one, and the cycle will start again. So I'm going to grab a sticky piston. Right, so we've got the monostable circuit in. We've got the redstone line going down to there. So now when the sand gets to the end, that's going to happen, and they'll all fire, pushing all the sand out. Brilliant. Now what I need to do is put in, because the piston down the end won't push the sand the full 60 or so blocks, I think it's 60 or so down here, we're going to have to put those extenders in. We're going to need a normal piston, one above, aren't we? So we need a block there, and we need a normal piston just there, and then a bit of redstone behind it. So we've just got the last one to do. I did that. I was really impressed with myself then. That there, one of them there. That there. That there, 2 ticks. That there like that. You wouldn't believe it, would you? You wouldn't believe it. How could I not have any slime? Oh, no slime blocks, no cry. No slime blocks, no cry. I can't believe I came up here without any slime blocks. Hey, little slime blocks. Where are you now? Only needed one. And I've got one. So that is it. I need to put a furnace just here as a stop, because otherwise it's just going to push sand all the way over. Now I'll take out my sandy boxes and I'll stick them all onto the dropper, so it's going to feed me with sand. Must have got some more of them down the bottom. Let me go and grab some more. So I'm inside my little glass shelter. I should be safe enough. There shouldn't be anything spawning around here. Stick a torch down there just to be safe. I mean, it's within 24 blocks. It shouldn't do. And now I need to fill up this first line with sand. Like that. Now, every time I put one on top of here now, it should start pushing it out. And this is going to push it all the way down to the end. And once this is all full, it's going to take hours. But once this is all full, then it'll start filling up the top in front of the pistons. Then they're going to push the line of sand over, and it's going to start filling up the next line. And then when that's full, it's going to push over. It's got to start filling up the next line. This will push out 13 blocks. So we'll fill up 13 of these with sand, and then I can just quickly move all of this. I mean, in fairness, it doesn't take long to put up, but I can move all of this into the middle, set all this up again, and then do another 7 blocks, and that'll be the entire area. And then I can just whip out a decent shovel and shovel it. Might have to sort that out though. I only want that firing once, don't I? Why are you firing twice? Anyway, you get the gist of it. So I'm going to do some AFK. But before I do any of that, I think I'm going to have to call it a day for today, everybody. So thank you very, very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Is that a slime down there? Have I found another slime chunk? Oh, for the love of Pete. Why is he not moving? And why is he despawned? The mystery deepens. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Really do appreciate it. If you have enjoyed the episode, please don't forget to leave it a like. And if you've really loved it, don't forget to subscribe for future videos. This is Frilioth, and I'm out of here.